Okay, yeah. So I'm Sam, and I was at UCSD at the Zeng Lab. It was a pretty brand new building and a pretty cool place to be. Okay, let's get started.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so this was the lab. It was actually not just our lab. There was a lot of different labs set up next to each other. Next to us was a psychology lab, and further down there was another psychology lab, and it was a pretty cool new facility. So it was pretty messy when we arrived, or we had a couple of volunteers there, and it was a pretty messy place, but that's okay. You have some really fancy equipment right there and right there. And when I arrived, I knew it was fancy because just the noises these machines made sounded very expensive, but you know. Okay, cool. So the lab, there was always something going on also in neighboring labs. I came in on a Saturday or on a Sunday, there were always people there. There was always something happening. And there was the different genomics project I worked on. So for one, there was stem cells, a lot of stem cell research going on at that lab. We also had a really major cancer project that was kind of coming towards an end, I say. There was also some aging and nanotechnology and microbiome projects going on, just to say a few. It's a pretty big lab crew right over there. That was my favorite machine right there. That was a fluorescent microscope. So we'll see a picture later on. And then it was, when I came, it was a lot of reading about what was going on at the lab. Also, when I was here towards February, got a lot of articles and papers to read. And then go there, get the trainings done, and then start working with the pipettes and everything. It was pretty fun. So, like I said, this is from the fluorescent microscope. So what we would do is we would produce virus, mix it in with the cells and the media, and then select for specific traits with drugs. And so here, this is it was a pretty cool picture. I had to include that. Some human fibroblast cells with the virus, and what they have the GFP positive gene. It was also they were resistant. So the other cells that don't express this gene, they all died off because of the drug. But since these cells with the glowing gene, they also had the resistant gene. So we were able to see what the lethal dose was to the cells. Okay. So the most amazing part was cutting. We got these amazing eyeballs, and from the human eye bank, and a lot of them actually, because it was an ophthalmology lab as well. And so then I got to cut up a lot of eyeballs, and that was great. And so then we got to extract cells, some stromal cells and some lens stem cells. It was pretty neat. I had so much fun with that, I tell you. Okay. No, I tell you, it was fun. It was fun. Okay, so this is only part of the lab crew. Everyone was always busy. Some people, this is the annual beach picnic. We had some, yeah, it was really cool. But sadly, some people couldn't make it because some people, they still had to work. Some people stayed there the entire night. They'd come back in the morning. They were just kind of napping at their desk or whatever. And yeah, it was a lot of hard work. But then to point out some people, this is Dr. Zhang. He was the PI. He ran the lab. And then, so I primarily worked with William and Miriam. I don't know where she is. She's down here somewhere. Yeah, there she is. And they were the lab managers, and they were primarily in charge of the cancer projects and the bigger projects that I got to work on. But yeah, no, it was. So it was a really big community, the lab, and so we did a lot of things. We spent so much time together. We went out to eat dinner when we knew we were going to stay there until after midnight or something like that. So, yeah. Okay. Cool. This was a very exciting part, which was where I got to live. So it was very fortunate. I drove down there, and then I was told that I got to go. I lived over here, right next to the ocean, in this really, really fancy neighborhood. I mean, it was fancy. Even the cars there, they were, kind of the cars you don't really see here. And and it was, so I got to walk to the lab every day. As a result, I ended up using less than half a fuel tank on my car that I got to drive down there. And so I walked across the road, there was a little shortcut, and there was a food court was right around here. So I just run across the road, usually, and then I would just go over here to the food court and then run to the lab. And, but, the usual, the good way, I guess, to go was to run along the street and then cross at the crosswalk or whatever. And then, and then just make your way along the street through campus to where the biomedical research facility was located. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Okay, so this was the housing. So this was Clarice. I got to stay at her house. It was a pretty big house. It was actually got lost when I arrived there. The garage was bigger than the house I lived in, and I mean, it was pretty cool when I arrived. She was like, "Yeah, Telluride. I used to have a little property in Telluride." As it turned out, that house was 2 or 3 times the size of the house I live in now. So this is the room I stayed in. I had so many stuffed animals. I was amazed. It was so much fun. And there's the unicorn over there, and all the Nemos or whatever. Yeah, she was a very. She had also this really fluffy little dog. It was very cute. And so with the housing, she always would. She runs a couple of companies, and she would always go out and eat and whatnot. And so I had to fend for myself. And then the stove looked brand new, so I didn't really use it. And then just some nights I was too lazy to go to the store, so I just didn't end up eating. But good. Cool. Oh, the house is also located right next to the beach, which was really cool. I got to go swimming and surfing, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so to future Pinhead interns, yeah, I want you to have fun. I really want you to go enjoy yourself. This is a pretty cool experience. You should really enjoy it. Ask questions. That was the biggest mistake. I was at the lab, and at one point I said, "Oh, I don't want to ask a stupid question," so I didn't ask it. And then later on, yeah, it doesn't work out. You should just ask your questions. And then be grateful. I mean, have fun. Say thank you for what you get. This is just a lot of people put in the time and effort and to make this possible for you. So it's really a lot of fun. Yeah. And at this point, I would like to say thank you to Pinhead mostly for taking me on this amazing journey, and then Clarice for letting me stay at her cool house, Dr. Zhang and the lab for letting me stay there, and also to the Fisher family, because they took me on these, when my host lady was gone for like a month, the Fisher family took me on these amazing trips and whatnot, so it was pretty cool. Cool, thank you.